Steve Young says Jimmy Garoppolo should ask for a release if he's not traded before the season. So I guess this is the timeline that Steve's thinking. Jimmy's been throwing for the last few weeks, but he won't be cleared until mid-August, according to Ian Rappaport. And by cleared, I think that means like able to practice, able to go into a game, a preseason game, able to do a full private workout, actually make all the throws. So I don't think he's going to be competing. I don't think he'd be participating in training camp. He might miss a first couple of preseason games. I mean, if Cleveland gets the bad news on Deshaun Watson next week, Jimmy's not around. I mean, Jimmy's not really available to step in right away. It seems like this might ruin his trade value if he had any. So they could, wait for him to finally get cleared and then try for a week or two to trade him. And then if, final cuts come around and his contract's about to be guaranteed, the $27 million, he could ask for a release. They could release him. I guess who wants to have a $27 million backup? What the Niners could do is release him and say, look, whatever offer any team makes you, we'll beat it. If some team wants to give you $7 million, we'll give you $8 million to be our backup. What do you say? He might just be like, I'll take less to leave. Thank you very much. Or he might be like, yep, you know what? That's fine. I don't believe in Trey Lance. He's going to get benched. I'll take $8 million. I'll be right here. Get my team back. He could do that. I don't know. What do you think is going to happen here?
As you're talking, I started thinking like there really is like multiple pathways that can go with this. You can get cut outright as soon as he's healthy. You can wait off until that final cut. You could demand his release. He could that 1% chance to get traded, which I see no way in hell he's going to get traded. Or they can hold him onto the season, commit to him as a backup, or hold him into the season and use him as a mid-season trade commodity. It's, my God, who would have thought like months ago between Deebo Samuel getting traded or /extended versus this, that Jimmy Garoppolo is the one that is going to be the most complicated. That's a little wild to me. But I think ultimately that they should trade him. Cut him. Because no one's going to trade for him. I mean, if Deshaun Watson gets handed a suspension in the coming days, the coming weeks, I mean, it's great. I mean, it's still going to be a while before Jimmy's good. And then even then after that, do you really trust him? Are you going to give him that time to get in the playbook to get rapport with his teammates? There's a lot of like variables that are hanging around this guy that it's like, is it even worth the headache? I mean, again, I've been saying for the 49ers, like, just flip the page, man. And I get what Young said in the last topic. Can it coexist? At least you have that backup, God forbid. You have that contingency plan if he goes down, and Kyle Shanahan, just win. So it's almost like let's develop Lance. We can win with them, but goes down for a time. We want Jimmy to step in because we know him and he can do this. But to me, it's just why just keep this running along? I mean, you already committed so much to Lance. Why not just give another aspect, another point to prove that Jimmy's gone now. He's healthy. Let's just end it. Let's just stop messing around and just let him give a chance. Look like you're doing him a favor and you're doing Lance a favor and the team a favor by avoiding all this awkwardness. Because if they were pissed off last year in training camp with all the questions about who's your starter, who's this and that, what's it going to be like this year if you guys keep him throughout the year? As soon as Trey has that multi-interception game, it's going to be a field day for someone like you and Kyle.
It's true. But here's the problem the Niners have put themselves in. If they get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo, they don't really have a backup quarterback. Miss me with the Nate Sudfeld stuff. He's never started a game. There's no way the Niners can feel like, hey, if Trey goes down, we can win a game or two with Nate Sudfeld. No, you can't say that at all. I mean, the one time he came in relief, his coach got fired like the next day. So, they don't have a backup quarterback. And they need him because their quarterbacks get hurt no matter who they are. Trey got hurt. Jimmy got hurt. They all get hurt. They don't really value pass protection on this team. I don't know. So, I mean, they could justify it that way. They should have had Tyrod Taylor, Andy Dalton. It should have been someone else. Didn't need to be Jimmy Garoppolo at $27 million, but they bungled it. And so if they're going to go this far with it, at least, and you can get a third-round comp pick by holding on to him and having him be your backup, I mean, it just seems like they'll probably go with that unless some team is like, actually, we'll trade you a mid-third for Jimmy. But, like, when is that going to happen?
No.
It's not. It's not. Because, again, that team would also have to, like, create cap space too. So I still think this dude is going to be on the team. I don't know if he'll be active on game day. I mean, I still think they're going to hold on to the fantasy of trading him but I don't know. I'm baffled.
So the Niners are going to pay for that $27 million of Jimmy, whatever the hell his salary is, for the third round pick. About not even essentially a fourth round pick because, that's the end of the round. So that's essentially a top fourth round pick. to pay
Last
that
thing, though,
salary just to get that.
Steve's thinking like I would, he would ask. Steve is thinking to himself, I would ask for a release in the situation. I want to play. I'm not going to be Trey Lance's back. I want to play
And up his value because you can't put
Yeah,
value
but, like,
behind him.
if Steve Young asked for a release on September 1, I mean, every team in the league is Steve Young at 30. Every team in the league would want him. He'd be the number one quarterback out. I mean, it's different. Like Jimmy Garoppolo, if he asked for his release, I mean, it's Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay. He's been hurt. He didn't throw all off season. He doesn't know your playbook. It's Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, what? How many teams are going to be like, oh yeah, let's bring him in. Let's bring him in here right now. No training camp, no OTAs. And he'll start week 1. Like maybe for Steve, not for Jimmy. I just feel like the way Jimmy's offseason went, teams are going to be like, man, I just don't think there's a starting job for him out there this year. Not with the offseason he's had. Maybe next year. Maybe he starts on the bench and gets a job, but I don't think there's a starting job waiting for him. And I don't even think in Seattle. I'm sorry.
Yeah. The only way he's going to start is well, first of all, the only way he's going to be attractive is if he is a free agent. Second, the only team he's going to be attracted to is a team with a quarterback, question mark. So like a Seattle, for example. And even if they sign him, he's not going to start right off the bat. That's going to be like something like Drew Lock's going to have to play his way out. And then the Seattle Seahawks especially are going to feel confident saying, hey, we have enough time to get Jimmy up to speed. He's had like a couple months, like say it's like week 8, week 9, because they've already seen it. Hey, Niners acquired him mid-season, and then it took him just some weeks to get it acclimated. And look, they won hella games with him. Why can't he do it with us now that he's more of a proven veteran? He's been in the league longer and actually gotten a lot of starts under his belt. Yeah. So I think there will be a market for him as a free agent. That's the only way. I mean, why not take a flyer? How much is it going to cost you? What's Jimmy going to cost? Like $4.5 million, $5 with incentives, whatever.
Exactly. But again, like if he's not even cleared until August, if he's not released until September, like you could sign him, but to be your starter, he hasn't done anything all off. He doesn't know your team. He doesn't know your playbook. I don't know. It seems like he's going to be a backup this year, which is maybe why Dan Sileo was talking about him backing up Tom Brady. Maybe the real market for Jimmy is the backup market. A team that's like, he could be our backup for a year, but get him in the facility, get him in the playbook, and maybe we could actually extend him if things go well. Kind of like what the Saints did with Jameis Winston. You know what I mean? Let's rehab him. Let's bring him in, put him on the bench. Maybe that's his fate for this year. I think it's what it should be.
Jameis actually played for them. Are you going to have this guy who's just in that shelf? Oh, that's why I think whoever –
wasn't Jameis Drew Brees' backup for a minute? I think he was.
I thought – wasn't that Teddy B? I think they brought in – I don't remember. I think that was James. You're right. Jameis was
for 1 year.
And he came in, and then he got hurt, and now it's this year where he's got re-signed. Okay, yeah,
he definitely spent a year on the bench to like rehab. He threw 30 picks in a season. I think everyone was like, okay, you can't be a starter anymore. And so I think he's had a year. Let me check real quick. I don't want to put this on the internet and be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
No, he had 30. He had 30 picks. He was the first 30 and 30 quarterback.
Yeah,
ever.
He was like the Jose Canseco of. Okay, yeah. So he went 33 and 30 in 2019 and in 2020. He went to New Orleans and didn't start. That was Drew Brees' last year. And then last year he was 5-2. So maybe Jimmy could do something like that, man. Like, you can't throw deep anymore. You're sort of seeing ghosts out there. Just stay on the bench for a year, rehab, don't get hurt. And then maybe you could replace Tom Brady in a year in Tampa and be on a good team or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't think he'd be willing for that. He just would probably just wait for a market to find someone who has a quarterback question mark. Like, I'll even go as far as the Giants, whoever the hell, and sign in free agency. And then if that quarterback plays himself out of like, seriously, like this guy looks bad, we're losing. And then, all right, now let's just start Jimmy because he's been in our facility for a month. Like, assuming he gets signed, like, I don't know, sometime like early September, you probably get started like in mid to late October, early November, and really get some starts under him. That's the only way I could see it playing out in terms of him going on another team and actually starting. Because other than that, barring an injury, which I'm not even going to assume, quarterback's going to get like that. I don't even want to think like that, but that's really the only likelihood I see that he's going to get some type of starting because he's not really worth anything right now. He's overvalued.
I think he needs to think about the future. This season, I don't think is going to be his season. I think he's going to be on the bench. He needs to think about where he wants to position himself for the future, if he has a future. And I think in his fantasy, his number one wish would be that job in New Orleans opens up. That he could go play with Kamara and Michael Thomas and be Drew Brees. I know he thinks he's Drew Brees. Go show the world that he can be Drew Brees 2.0, even though he's really not. I think he would love that job. And so, Jameis has another chance to show that he can do it. We'll see what he does. But yeah, I think Jimmy probably is already looking towards 2025 3.